Being a soldier has its upsides. There's really nothing quite like the feeling of sliding your bayonet between a heretic's ribs. But it turns out there is something better. This. Reginald here. At long last, there is a new weapon for Veteran. And not only that, but it's a Power Falchion. In light of this sick new addition, I figured I'd take some time to do a tutorial for it. This way you can hit the ground running on patch day. Purpose in kit. The Power Falchion is a universal frontline weapon. Much like its bigger brother, the Relic Blade, it is not the absolute best at heavy elite busting or monstrosity slaying, but it is still remarkably good. It's very strong into light elites and is fantastic into hordes of any kind. It has excellent stagger, excellent cleave, decent mobility, and overall is very good as a complement to any of the weaker elements in Veteran's kit. It's not even entirely anemic when unempowered. It is simultaneously the perfect sidearm or main arm for any Veteran build. Basics. The Power Falchion is the second in a new family of power weapons featuring a heat mechanic. Rather than simply slamming the on button over and over every time you want to use it, the weapon can be toggled on and swung freely until the heat cap is reached, at which point the weapon overloads and is locked out of being reactivated until reaching zero heat. Additionally, the weapon may be activated mid-combo, and activation animation states count as blocking until the animation is complete, allowing deliciously smooth transitions from unempowered attacking to empowered attacking. While this mechanic wasn't ported over to the Veteran Unitorum Power Swords, it has been added to this new pattern and I am so here for it. There are two marks of the Power Falchion, the Aridin Mk1 and the Lawbringer Mk2b. The Mk1, in my view, has easier access to consistent sweeping horde clear attacks and overall more reliable combos, while the Mk2 is a bit more elite oriented with quick and hard hitting strike downs and an uppercut attack. Both are excellent weapons, and I'm not genuinely sure which is better yet, but I tend to favor the Mk1 currently because of the easier combos. Both weapons have 4 dodges and are much more mobile than the Munitorum pattern power swords with better dodge distances and better dodge count maximums, making these much safer for Veteran to use in a pinch. Like all melee weapons, these have different stats tables for each swing, so I will click through them quickly so you can pause and study if you want. You can see each of these swing types' base stats in your weapons inspection screen by selecting Inspect, View Attack Breakdowns, and clicking through each swing type. I will be discussing swing types and patterns later. Here is the Aridin Mk1. Here is the Lawbringer Mk2b. It has access to the following blessings. Build recommendations. Here is the sword I have been basically using this whole time I've been playing on early access. Modifiers. For both marks, the ideal stats distributions are 80s in everything except mobility, which you can dump to 60%. I still seem to get 4 dodges on that 60% mobility, and 80% mobility did not get me to 5 dodges. The dodge distance is still solid at 60% mobility, and the weapon has, I'm pretty sure, from in-game comparisons, the assault, sprint, and stamina profiles, so it's more than mobile enough in this condition on its own. Perks. In this case, I think the jury is going to be out for a bit on perks, just being honest here. This is because enemies have been changed in this patch. Crushers are tougher than before, Plasma Gunners are new with carapace armored heads, Maulers are tougher. There's plenty of reasons to debate about where the new priorities lie in your weapon set. However, my current view is that Maniacs is definitely still worth it to take for easier kills into Drag Ragers and Muties. The second perk is a bit more up for debate. Flak is a sensible choice here, especially when swinging into things unempowered, and so is Unyielding because, of course, beating up Reapers and Bulwarks is always important. But personally, I am finding that Carapace is probably worth taking on this weapon, as one of its bigger virtues is being a flexible and reliable weapon that has anti-armor capacity. I feel this weapon is mobile enough that I'm not really struggling into bosses, even if that fight is taking longer because I don't have Unyielding on it. Meanwhile, I am struggling to take down Crushers in a timely manner with just how tanky they can be right now, even with that 25% extra Carapace damage. I will say I did try without it, but it did take an extra heavy swing to get a kill on the range in Psychonium. In my opinion, that heat and time cost will stack up over a game, exposing you to more risk. So I'm in favor of taking Carapace here, but hey man, you do you, we'll figure it out. Blessings. Let's talk about blessings. First, I'm going to recommend 2 that I think probably offer the most advantage to the player. Then I will be rank ordering these based on my assumptions. I know that's not ideal for a tutorial, but with all the baselines for TTKs changing for so many enemies, none of my testing systems really give me good context. I can't give you an answer because nothing is in good relation to anything else anymore. So it's mostly just vibes and experience from playing games and having played a lot of games, talking about what is informing my decisions here. For now, the 2 blessings I recommend by default are Wrath and Decapitator. It's a good place to start at least. Wrath seems to really positively impact your cleave capacity even when empowered, and especially into high hit mass enemies, while Decapitator has noticeable damage highs due to finesse synergy with Veteran across the board on a weapon that has high cleave, perfect horizontals for headhunting with. After that, here is my rank ordering. Decapitator and Wrath, of course, at the top, with Energy Leakage, I think, are my A tier picks. For B tier, I think it's going to be Counterattack and Cranial Grounding. For C tier, I'm going with Energy Transfer, Heatsink, and Overload. Swing patterns. For swing patterns in this video, I think I'd like to keep this a bit simpler. Here are the 2 patterns I'm using on each weapon. These weapons do have some intricate connections, but 90% of the time I am not using any of that. I am just using one of the 2 combos and block canceling to get back into these combos. They seem quite optimal, to me at least. Mark 1 swing patterns. Horde Clear. To initiate the Horde Clear combo here, you want to do a light attack, then another light attack, then a heavy attack, and then you repeat light into heavy, and this gets you a nice horizontal combo that is snappy and does great clear speeds. If you do get staggered or interrupted, you'll need to full reset by doing by a block cancel, light, light, heavy. For big targets, you want to do heavy, heavy, light repeating. This gives you 2 overheads followed by a super quick stab that does great damage, especially on headshot. Mark 2B swing patterns. Horde Clear. This weapon is a bit more weird in my opinion, but I find push attack, light, light to be the basic Horde Clear combo. You can also get this diagonal setup with heavy, light, but it feels weird and I don't like it. For big targets, this weapon is really just light, heavy repeating. This gives you an overhead into uppercut, and it's good, and it's quick, and has solid damage. Weapon ranking. In my Relic Blade tutorial, I spent a lot of time discussing which of the 2 Relic Blades was better, but honestly, these 2 power swords do feel extremely similar. The reality is I like the Mark 1 more because the swing patterns feel more natural to get into and don't necessarily require me to use stamina for the Horde Clear horizontals, but you should play what you like. There is a question though, which of these is better between the Mark 6 Munitorum power sword and the Power Falchions? Well, without having access, due to mods not working for me, to my testing system, and all of the changes making that testing system obsolete at the moment, or at least out of date, I cannot say with absolute certainty, but I'm going to have to just make a case here. Crushers, notably, have been buffed. One of the big things the Munitorum Power Sword used to be able to do was rapidly eliminate them with just 1 push stab headshot and a light attack with a high degree of consistency. It now actually takes 2 full cycles of this, which means 2 charge up actions per Crusher. My best time was 4.16 seconds. Meanwhile, a heavy attack combo on the Mark 1 Power Falchion is 6.16 seconds, and 6.53 seconds, nearly 7 seconds, for the light push stab combo. This is a full 2 seconds to 3 seconds worse. On the upshot, I do not have to constantly slam the on-off button, nor be exposed during that animation, as the Power Falchion, unlike the Power Sword, counts as blocking during the animation. Furthermore, I do not have to really concern myself with using a powered attack into the wrong target and running out of charge at the wrong moment. This weapon can kill 2, maybe possibly 3 Crushers before running out of charge. If I kill the odd Poxwalker in the midst of that mess, I should be okay. On top of all of that, the Power Falchion has way better mobility, dodge distance, and sprint speed, and so on. This means that the weapon is much safer for the veteran to use, which I think is critical in a class that tends to have poor melee staying power. So for me, even though the maximum damage is a little bit lower on this weapon as opposed to the Munitorum power swords, the ease of use, the consistency, and the duration of use, and the safety of use is what pushes it over the edge. I think these weapons are better even though they don't have as much peak damage potential. I guess we can have an argument about it on the internet. Let me know. It'll be interesting to see what people's opinions are after they've had some time with both of them. Outro. Thank you all so much for visiting. I've made an effort to simultaneously make this video shorter than some of my other ones and still sufficiently detailed for you to enjoy the weapon on day one and understand its power and potential, and at least like get the basics out of the way so you can start pushing the boundaries on what we all know about this weapon. I look forward to seeing what other people come up with on this weapon over time. I think there's still plenty of space to explore this weapon, and I certainly haven't been able to put as much rigor into it as I did with the Relic Blades for various reasons. I think it's super neat and fun, and I will be seeing you out there slaying heretics on Tertium. With that, I will just ask that if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and share it out with your pals, and maybe give it the old like and subscribe if you haven't already done so on my channel. Warm regards. Reginald. I would like to take a moment to provide a special thank you to a Rando Dude and Joseph Davison for being Oathmaker level members, and to Zimisk3 and Fluff. Also, a shout out to Vinny for continuing to support my channel whenever I do have time to stream. Hopefully that will pick up again soon. Guys, genuinely, I really appreciate it a lot. It honestly is just so encouraging to have you guys supporting me like that, and it means a lot to me personally. So thank you. I hope to continue to bring you high quality content. I continue to do my best. So take care, and I'll see you around. Thanks so much for visiting, and bye-bye.